All right, so I'm Andrew Clearwater, Chief Trust Officer here at Airia, and my role here is to both run the governance program as well as work on the strategy of our governance solution. Yeah, I think in many ways AI governance is the foundation of the program, and the reason for that is you can't govern what you don't know about. And so when you see a program that is based on what people have submitted and has some sort of administrative controls for collection of the inventory, you know that they have a pretty good start. But when you add technology to that inventory and you start discovering the shadow AI, as we call it, the things that were put in place because people wanted to solve their own problems, which is understandable, but also risky, you start to get a complete picture of AI usage in your company. And I think this is something that's going to evolve over time as well. I mean, right now, finding AI is an activity, but it's going to be so ubiquitous at some point that you're going to be actively governing nearly everything. I guess is the point. It's sort of like gravity, right? Or if you go back to, many years ago when we were figuring out what is internet connected, everything's internet connected. Don't even ask, right? So these inventories right now are kind of growing from kind of static to active because they're using supplemental discovery tools, a lot of them coming from the security side of the space. And with that, you're able to better govern. But I think it's important that you don't look at your inventory as a single flat plane and it's just like everything here is to be governed equally. Like it definitely is not. The whole point is to then move from I've collected it and I know about it to what am I going to do about it? And that's where the best companies figure out low risk, medium risk, high risk. What's my agenda? What's my plan? And what am I going to do about it? Yeah, so I think it's important that you build your own classification system. There are standards that can help you do this. I don't think you should do this in complete isolation. Some people will look to the EU AI Act because they already defined what's prohibited, what's high risk. You can kind of move and get inspired by these other lists. The important thing, once you've created that list, which could be a quick check of these other sources, is to figure out what you're going to do about it. And I think it's going to be a combination of technical controls and kind of involvement in launching and then sort of post-deployment monitoring review of these machines. I think the thing that you should do if you have limited resources is obviously focus on the high. And what is going to be high risk will often involve the type of use. So whether it overlaps with children or healthcare, or maybe your company's most proprietary data. But I think one of the things that you'll pick up from something like a 42001 framework is that risk typically faces inward. It's like what bad things can happen to us, and impact happens outward. So do not sort of get really good at risk and worrying about yourself without also getting good at impact and looking at what the societal impact is to your actions.